Hello everyone. My name is Harsh Mehta. I'm working as a customer success AE in engineering technique. So today's our main topic of this webinar is SolidWorks tips and tricks. So as we all use a SolidWorks in a different way and different method. So there are some tips and tricks. There are some shortcuts in there which we will discuss, and that will be helpful for you to implement in your everyday work. So it will improvise your designing speed, and it will beneficial for you. So in this so we have approximately, as we explain about myself, then so I'm working as a customer success AE for past 2.5 years. I am associated with the engineering technique, and we have approximately 800 plus customer base. So we are providing best valued services to our customer to get the best benefits of their SolidWorks subscriptions. So from our end, our main agenda is to provide the best support and validated service to the customer, and they will improvise their design work and uh, get beneficial support from us. So there are so many tips and tricks, as we know that we are using SolidWorks in a different way. So everyone's design capability is different. We are all, when we started designing, we all have a different aspect of design. So we all have a basic different methods, but basically our requirement is the same, that we need a fully flexible and manufacturable design we required, right? So for that we use our SolidWorks for mechanical designing, but also with that we have we know that basic fundas are there, basic features we use. Okay, and for that we sometimes improvise our workability with that particular existing settings or some personalized customized settings. So we'll discuss on it. So some of features maybe you are using it already, and some of new features or particular shortcuts that you might be know in this particular webinar. So first of all, as we open the SolidWorks, we know that on our first home screen, we have so many options are there. Okay, so basically, first of all, we are focusing on recent file on a welcome board. So when we try to open a SolidWorks, and if we want to use particularly existing recent files, so this particular option is very helpful for us. So we can get up to 100 files that we directly access from that particular tab. Side by side, I also open the SolidWorks also, and I will show you that option, which is where it is located and how you can use that. So for that, as we open the SolidWorks, so in home page, there is first recent tab, which is here. Here you can access all that particular recent files that you have created. And after that, when you open the SolidWorks, so there is also option here in a file and in a particularly open recent. So there are so many files you can see it here. It is go up to approximately 100 number of files, and for this option you can directly go on that particular welcome welcome dialog box, which is initiated first option we open in the SolidWorks. So with that, you can access all that particular files which you have created and save in your system. So in the next step, we go on us. So basically, as we know that we are using particularly SolidWorks as a software to design any kind of component from that. So we know that we have there is some procedure, right? So for that, first of all, we start to identify and first analysis it again in our mind and in our as we pre-work, so that in that we can identify that how our designing plan will be start. After starting that, we face sometimes that there are so many options are there in SolidWorks. So when we use that particular SolidWorks, we have that particularly design area here, and there are so many things that all the tabs and everything is are located in a specific corner and all. So for sometimes we need to always go to that particular option, select that, and then start that particular sketching, right? So for that, we have some shortcuts here. Okay, so one of the shortcuts is, yeah, like when we open the particular options, sorry, when we open a particular customization options, there are so many options, customizing options are there. So first is toolbars or shortcut bars, and we'll go on and discuss on that. But right now we are focusing on mouse gestures. So mouse gesture is what that will particular give that particular options related to specific feature you are using, specific command you are using. If you are using sketch, so you can align specific required particular options here. Like in sketch you have a mainly used mostly used four options are there. It is properly already created, default options are there, but you can customize it also. So there are so n number of different way. There is a six type of gestures are there: two-way vertical, two-way horizontal, three gestures, four gestures, eight gestures. And if you are very much comfortable and so hands-on practice on the SolidWorks, you can also use a 12 gesture option also. So according to your usability and your convenient, you can settle this according to your requirement. So right now I am using the default settings for the particular sketch, assembly, drawing, and parts. So I will show you the particular fundamental how and can use. So as I open that particular sketch, so if I want to create a line, so I need to go in particular option and need to select. In mouse gesture, we just need to right click our mouse and just hover it. So it will show that particular mouse gesture option here. Okay, so for example, I want to create a one line. So I can select it and create one particular line as per my requirement. And I directly use that particular tool and create that particular geometry which I want. Also, if I want to, if there is also there is one shortcut I have created with a smart dimension. So I am creating this, and after that I am providing directly particular dimension. So it will directly reflect here, and it will kind of save my time. So I don't need to go on particular command manager and select that particular option. I just directly opt that particular feature through my mouse gestures. Okay, so with that particular, this is the mouse gestures. So it is, I have connected that particular video also for that. So just go through on that particular video. So as I explained it, it is basically the particular what features and what a particular mouse gestures you can see here is the same one, which is I showed in a practical way. So in next point, it is a repeat last command. So many times it happens that when we opt a particular option and after selecting particular after particular after we switch to the another option, so we need to we need some time that we want to opt that older that before selected a feature only. So at that time we just need to press enter. Okay, so let's see, I am opening this and I'm creating particular line. After that, I just press escape, and now I press enter again, and you can see that line option is already automatically selected, and now I can work on it directly with the lines. Same way I can enter that particular, just press the enter, and I can create a line again. So in enter, we can select opt that last option of our particular command, which we can opt easily and directly from that particular option. Okay, so I'm just deleting this. Okay, so this is particularly repeat command is there. There is an option we can opt from that, or just we can press the enter to opt that particular avail that particular feature. So in our next portion, as we know that if we are using, as you see in my current use that there, if I create particular any kind of changes in particular sketch, so there is, you can see that particular rebuild icon is there in my particular sketch geometry options. So for that, so many times we go to hover our mouse on the particular rebuild option, and also you can directly opt the control Q, and you can rebuild that particular feature. So right now you can see that sketch is properly rebuilt, and it is fetched that particular which particular geometry I have created last, and it is showing that particularly rebuilt option is gone, and it is properly updated as per my last option selected. Okay, so after that, see, I just delete it again, and it is showing again that particular rebuild option, opting the rebuild option requirement. So we can opt from that with the control Q. Same way, there are so many options are there. We can actually use that in a frequent way. So many times we are used to do particularly go and hover the mouse on the particular option and opt that particular feature. But so many times SolidWorks, as we know that they have so many options are there. So SolidWorks show that particular shortcuts inbuilt created. Also, as you know that frequent users have adopt their particular own shortcuts also, which is also there. I will show you in end of that particular this particular session. So reference plane. So normally what happened as we started designing, so we know that in basic sketching and designing, the most important thing which we need is a particular reference plane. So without plane, we can't create any particular geometry, flatten geometries, and create particular options. So for that, we always use that particular if we want to create it, we started from the reference geometry. We need to go that option and then opt particularly if we want to create a particular plane, we need to select that. For that, so what we can do, so we can just we just fix it. Okay, and now I'm just opting particular all planes here. Okay, right now I'm selecting this. I press Control and just but select that particular corner, press Control and just drag. So it will create an automatic one particular reference plane from that particular plane, basic plane. For just example, I just selected top plane corner. I just select this particular junction point, and then I pressed Shift and just create a particular reference plane. So here you can directly opt that particular reference plane geometries. You can directly create a reference from that, and just we need to apply particular amount here, and we can just I press enter, and this particular new plane is created. So it is just it is just direct automatic, like we can consider it as a shortcut that we can create a particular desired reference plane here. In next point up, we can discuss the alternative way to sketch lines. So as we know that we are normally discussing that particular options, we can directly opt from our desktops like keyboard shortcuts or mouse gestures. So right now, as we so just I am just removing it, and I am selecting that front plane for sketch. Or also I can directly, if don't want to go on a specific work area, just I can select here and okay, so I am just like ideally this system, and right now I'm just selecting front plane. It is show that particular sketch option is here. We can directly opt that, and if I want to particularly hide this all the options, we can just hide it. So in that way, I just need to okay, I just make it normal too because I have changed that. So for that, let's say I am just creating particular line with the mouse gesture. I just creating the line. So with that particular line, as we know that there is some options also which in a property manager we can see. So for that opting, I can just directly press Alter H. So it is directly selected horizontal one, Alter V. So it is directly switch to the vertical lines. Same way I can, if I just select Alter A, so it will take the particularly angular line. So it is creating the particular line and directly select that options, sub options from that property manager by that particular shortcuts. So it will help us to don't want to over that mouse again and again, and just we can directly sketch that particular required required dimension, required particular line format, and we can use it. So also it is also have a two options. One is alter C. Alter C is basically making that particularly construction line of that geometry. It is converted in a particular construction line. So construction line, as we know that we can use it for a reference line. So around that we can sometimes use it in a particularly required geometries. Okay. In not next point. Sorry, there is a select chain. Select chain option, as we know that particular select chain option is to select the whole geometry in a single select. So how it will work and how it will helpful for us in our regular designing. So let's say I'm just deleting this and just creating one basic geometry here. So I'm just creating this. Okay, and right now I'm not creating any shortcuts for fillet, so I'm just selecting fillet and apply it, and I'm just increasing with the 20 20. I will build it on a 20 radius, and just I'm just have a just rebuild it, and now there is an option which is called a chain selection. Chain selection is what it is doing that particular select whole geometry. If you want to use that particular geometry, so many times or in our regular practice we just select that particular line, then press particular option like shift and select all the lines. So in that way we need to create it in that way, or just we just need to select it, right click, and select chain option will automatically select all the geometries which is included in this particular sketch. They will select it automatically. So how it will help us to, so when we create particular any kind of offset or anything, we just need to directly select it, and we can just work on that. Same way, there is so many options which is we can use it. Okay, also there is some as we know that we when we create any geometry, so for if we want to copy it or want to move it, so many times what we prefer that we just need to opt the particular move entity option, select that particular like line, and with the, let's say it, I am selecting it with a particular chain selection, select an option, and for offset I can select that, or sorry, for move I want to just select it particularly each and every point. But if we don't want to opt that particular move option, we just need to shift and drag. So I just select that, just press a shift and drag that particular option, particular geometry. Okay, so it is directly copying the moving that particular geometry. Okay, which is totally it is moving that particular geometry with the specific relation which is continue, and it will not going to change any relation between that, and not giving any disturbance in that particular geometry. It is like moving directly that particular geometry. Okay, so this is the main benefit of it is combined. We can say that it is combined of chain selection and that particular uh, move in a geometry. Also, same way, if we I select option control and drag, it will create a copy of that. So see that way I can create a copy of that also. Okay, so right now I'm just discontinuing this, and this is our geometry. So this option can be used by you, so you can directly create a copy and initiate that particular options. Okay, so as we know that, as I said before, that there is some customization option are also there. So as in customization options, so when we open the option and open that customization, there is some one shortcut bar is there. Shortcut bar is what it is created directly a shortcut bar that have some basic features we frequently use. We can directly use it as per the default shortcut bar. Otherwise, if we want to add any kind of our desired particular a feature, we can directly to opt that tool here. Okay, so as we drag and drop, we can opt that particular tool here. Okay, so with that also, if we want to directly access that particular shortcut bar, we just need to press S, and you can see that particular shortcut bar is open. And here you can also search for a specific command, like for example, if I am typing sketch, so it is opening that particular sketch option, and all this option which is associated with the sketch, so it is also in your fingertips. We just need to press S, and that particular option is open. So it is a shortcut bar. We can also particularly customize that as per our requirement. It is not mandatory that we need to particularly use that default one only. We can change it for part shortcut, assembly shortcut, drawing, and sketch shortcut. There are different type of shortcuts are there. So it is same way as compared to as same as mouse gestures. It have a different four type of shortcut bars are there, which is also customizable as per the requirement. So in next, we will discuss on enable the on-screen numerical input in entity creation. So what is this option? So as we know that so many of us are working on a technically CAD option also, and some applications for 2D CAD also. So in that way, so many in a different way of methodology we normally used to create. In SolidWorks specifically, we normally used to do but create particularly line. Then after I we need to particularly apply particular dimension on that. So this is approximately, if we see that it is taking approximately 3 steps to create a particular dimension line. So for that we have one option here in our settings. So in options, in document properties, we go on a particularly, just a minute. Okay, in options, okay, in a system options, in sketch, there is an option which is called unable to screen numeric input on entities creation. And when we press OK, so now we just refresh it, and when I try to create particular line, it is already showing the numericals dimension box here. I just need to directly input particular amount, and this particular line is created for 100 mm. Same way as a vertical, I required 50. So it is just directly creating geometries with directly creating geometries with a specific requirement of size. Okay, so for that we don't need to create a dimensions again and again. Just we need to elaborate directly. So that will be really beneficial for us to create a particular geometry as per our requirement. So as we can see that directly input, we just created that reference here, and with the same option. Okay, so if I just unselect this and unselect this also. So in that way, we can directly create particular geometries. Like for example, for selecting that option, it is also automatically given their particular dimension to that particular line. Okay, so I didn't opting it here. So here I can write 50. So it is automatically input that particular dimension. And also, as we know that the SolidWorks don't provide a particular multiple dimension for the same constraint. So you can see that it is totally differentiated by dark and light option. Like for one is driven dimension, and one is driving dimension. So that is option. It is opt from here. You can open a system option sketch and enable screen numerical input on entity creation. So in next point, we open that solid. So basically, this point is some important. We normally recommend that this particular option is mostly used in a end of our total discussion, but it is based part of a UI. So that's why I make it here. So basically, what is this? This particular option, it is saving and restoring the particular settings which we created in our system. So for example, I'm using my SolidWorks in my particular system, and I am just have a specific customization created in my specific SolidWorks version. And afterwards, after upgradation or transferring the license, options, we normally so many times we are facing that our settings get be resetted and revert back to the of like we can say default settings only. So for that, opting this particular option, we can restore that particular our settings here. So and after opting that particular option, we can restrain that particular our settings in our new after new update. So we can save the settings, restore setting, and reset setting. There is three options. As I start to try to save that particular setting, I just open up next. It will showing particular location for that, and this particular setting is located here. I can relocate it in our desktop also, and then I can save it as a my desired location. So it will helpful for me that whenever my system get updated, or if there is any kind of a change happen in my SolidWorks, my settings will be saved and I can use from my convenient settings only. So all the customized settings will be there, and particular as you can see that system option, tool layout, keyboard shortcuts, mouse gestures, menu customization, and views all will be saved in a particular location. So browse the open document. It is the same way that we open that recent particular document. It is the same way opening the browser open documents. We can open directly it from that particular window, and also it is opening form which can selected by Alt tab and open the document, which is similar way that as we see on a particular welcome box. So as we go on next, so as we know that so many times we face that we are, if we create any geometry here. So let's say I am creating one geometries and I need to keep one relation with that or older geometries. So many times which happen that particular if I have selected this, the particular property manager is open. And if I want to go that particular feature design tree, so it will not showing me that particular feature design tree. But if I directly opt particularly. Okay, in different features, I can specifically open that particular particular feature and open that particular feature design tree for that particular feature. So it is used in mainly in assembly. So if we provide a particular reference to the existing part, I can discuss it in our when we switch to the assembly part. Okay, so reference trident, what it will trident what it will do that when we create particular geometry, as we know that if let's say I'm just importing like open one regular geometry here. Okay, so as we know that we normally hovering it by holding that particular roll button. Okay, but in that way we can also use that particular reference tried for, let's say if we select it and shift press shift and select, it will rotate 90%. For example, I'm pressing shift and I am selecting x-axis, so it will rotate 90%, 90 degree in x-axis. Same way I can rotate it again and it will come in its original position. Also, if I opt alter and press that particular axis, so it will move approximately 15 degree, and after some clicks we can initiate that only in a main geo reference. And so it way you can just manage it and how to from which aspect you want to see that particular geometry we have that particular part you have created. Also, as you know that particular in a just it is an add-in point, just you know that when you press the particular space bar, you can get that particular orientation box here, so you can directly select that particular orientation way and you can directly opt that particular part in a specific way. For example, I want to go on a first front view. I don't know want to go on a front plane and keep it normal too. I just kind of over here here, and it is directly normal too with the front that front plane and front what can I say front side. Okay, so in that way, uh, we can use that particular reference treasure and try it. And now it is how to, so many times we face that when we create a particular geometry, we initiate in starting sketching. So we know that particular, we always opt that particular relationship relation snap ability here. Okay, so it is basically helpful for us to get that particular relation created with the exist like on creating geometries. Let's say, for example, I am just creating one geometry here. Okay, and I am creating one line. So from next, when I am trying to open any kind of line or anything, it is showing me that particular relation with that particular existing lines. So many times it is happening that if we if I created a particular line from here, it will already snap that particular point and create a relation by default. See, if I am going to create this line, it is already created particular relation with that. It is like kind of a merge point here. But sometimes I need to require that I don't need to get a particular relation here. I just need to create one individual line here. So for that, I just can create particularly shift, and it will directly don't get any relationship or relation suggestion from with that particular line. It is created near to that existing reference, but it is still not creating any relation with that, and it is kind of a free geometry. So for that, we can obtain the control, and we can just disable the auto relation temporarily. So as we create so many geometries, so many times we face that we need to trim out that particular part portion. And for that, sometimes if we just select it and delete, the whole geometry will be deleted. So for that, we all basically use that particular advanced tool, which is called power trim. Power trim is basically helpful for us. So how it will helpful for us? So it can we can say that power trim is basically associated with all that particular options in a single way. Just we need to hover that particular cursor, and the particular geometries will be trimmed till that particular junction point. If it is junction created here, I'm just trimming it, and it will cut that particular part till that particular option point. So it is power trim is very much useful for that. Also in that way, if we try to create a particular geometry regarding, like for example, I'm just creating this geometry here, and I'm opting that particular power trim option. But if I just start to point like stretch this point, it will also created a extended entity also. I can complete it, control it here from. So if we use the power trim, it is can also trim that geometry, also extend a particular geometry. As per our requirement, we can use that particular tool. So in one tool we can do the both things. So that's why it is important for us. In a so many times as we create particular circular geometry, we normally see that if we create a particular circular geometry, we face that so many times it is directly taking okay, just a minute. Okay. So if we created that, and we try to give a dimension here, it is directly open that particular dimension. Particular, it is directly fetching that particular diameter of that particular part. Okay. So if we want to convert it in a particular, our requirement is dimension in a radius, so we directly of that particular from here, it is just converted in a radius, and if we want to display as a diameter, we can directly update it from here. Also, if we want to particular geometry dimension according to our default setting, that we can directly update from here. So it is showing particular dimension in a our desired requirement, either in a radius or diameter dimension. So with that, as we know, the bind is the point where we can directly pick that particular geometry for giving that particular angular dimension for that geometry. It is not required any existing geometry will be there. It is directly opting the angular dimension by their own point. So if I created a particular line here, normally the reference line required a specific alternate another point or another line for the reference to create particular relation or dimension. So for that angular dimension, this bit it will help us helpful for us to create a particular angular dimension for that. So it is here. So directly we can create a dimension here. So let's say I keep it 60. So it is creating a 60-degree angle with that particular top plane. Okay, so this bit will be helpful for us for a specific angular dimension. Okay, so dimension tangency. So many times we face that if we create two circular points, two circular geometries. Let's say I am creating one here, and another one is created here. Okay. Okay. So normally what we prefer that we just okay. So I selected the line, and I'm just Alter C, and it will create one construction line. It is just for the reference, so I can directly identify that particular dimension here. Okay, so now I am just opening that smart dimension. I am providing the dimension. It is showing some 265 something distance. But if we try to select particular this geometry and this geometry, it is also taking from the center point only. So many times we have required that particular dimension we want is from end point of the both geometry or inside point of the both geometry. So at that time, what will we do? That we select particular geometry, press press shift, and then we opt the particular another geometries and option. So it is created one dimension here, which is not from the center point only. It is showing that particular distance between outer radius of that particular points. Okay, so the it is showing the dimension between the closest point of the both geometries, both cylindrical geometries. Same way I can use it on a outer dimension also. So it is showing that particular which selecting shift we can create the particular dimension to tangency. Okay. So next option we will see is to tab key while dimensioning in a 3D sketch. So as we know, so many times we are using it or to create any geometries, so many times we are using particular 3D sketch. So in a 3D sketch, what happened that if we open a 3D sketch and we started same way a line creation, so we know that particularly it is created on a time particularly it is taking the reference plane for the just basic reference, and it is like taking at x-axis and y-axis reference point. So it is created that way. So it will create a particular line on a specific area. So now then I am creating this geometry. So after creating this, so many times what is happening that if we try to provide particular dimension here, it is creating it is 3D like a 3D sketch. So it is don't have any reference plane. So it is ideal plane, so that it cannot be provide a particular dimension here. So for if we want a specific dimension like vertical or horizontal, we just need to pay tab, and it is created a dimension look at the dimension according to like parallel to x-axis, and if we try to press tab again, so it will created one dimension according to y-axis. So it is the specific way that it can create a particular dimension here. After pressing tab, I can get the particular reference for that dimension. So by pressing tab, we can provide the proper dimension according to our required direction. Change skates type option. So as we know that we use so many particular geometrical options from sketch. So many times it happens, as we discussed, that in a line there is two basic options are there. So same way, in other geometries also there are some options. Okay, so let's say for example I'm creating one I'm selecting one rectangle. So there are so many sub options in a rectangle. So after by selecting particular a option, a I can just pressing the a key in my like keyboard, I can change the particular option of my triangles. Let's say if it is the circular central uh, center corner triangle, then if I want to create one other triangle rectangle, sorry, rectangle. So I just again press A and it will create a particularly as my requirement. I can create a particular corner rectangle also. So by pressing A, we can hover in a sub options of that particular entity creation, which can be a circle, arc, or triangle, rectangle. So by using that particular key on from the keyboard, we can create one desired geometry. So sketch expert. So normally, as we know that so many times, as we discussed before, that there is sometimes it is showing particularly rebuild option on our sketch. So many times we have, as we trying to create particular existing proper geometries. So we face that it will require sometimes, particularly we normally trying to create a fully defined sketch, right? So at that time we face that in a fully defined sketch there are so many times happen that after giving multiple relation, it is showing that full over defined or showing particularly error of that particular relations. So at that moment, what we can do is, let's say I'm just creating one geometry here. Okay, so I'm just creating one geometry. I am providing multiple dimension here and relation here. Okay, so let's say I'm just creating one, okay, geometry here. Okay, and creating one flat, something like this. And with that selection, as we know that we use normally the chain selection. Let's say I'm creating one offset option, and here is also the option to select chain. Okay, I am selecting bi-direction and cap. So it is creating the unique slot here. Okay, I'm just creating that, and by selecting this particular option, chain selection, and I'm creating this entity in a construction. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry, I just like escape from that chain selection. So I'm giving, providing particular dimension. Let's say it is like 50. This particular dimension is, let's say same way, let's say 40 and 40. And also I'm providing the particular dimension dimension to this also. So it will make particularly error here. Okay, so this particular error shows that this particular reference geometry have already fully defined, but I'm not able to give any other dimension here. But still, I force the system to create that particular dimension and create it in a, like I'm just directly creating that particular error here, so we can know how to utilize it. So for, let's say, space, I'm pressing S, and we just go to the, just a minute, sketch expert option. Okay, so sketch expert option is out here and it will showing me that particularly two options, manual repair or diagnose. I just select that diagnose. So it will identify that there is one only particular point which is creating additional errors. So it is particular the radius which is I have created in the end, so I can just operate and I accept it. So it will just say that can it define that can sketch can so yeah, it will suggest particular suggestion here, and if I said okay to that, it is all automatically resolve that issue and remove that additional dimension or relation which is I provided to particular geometry and which is creating particularly error to that particular dimensions geometry. Let's say I am creating another relation here. I am pressing equal and I am pressing OK. So it is still again creating particular error here. Okay, so to resolve this here error, we can same way create and typing the sketch expert option and diagnostic, and it is showing three different way. Why? Because I am giving particular relation between these two geometries. There are too many there are three different type of errors can be resolved in three different way. First is the distance, which I need to remove this dimension. Option two is I need to remove this dimension, and option three is that particular relation between these two lines. So as per our requirement, we can just change that particular relation or dimension, and after that we can just of that resolve it. So I can change this. I accept it, and it will ask me that to find the valid solution, and I will press OK, and it will directly rebuild that particular dimension. Okay, so it is resolved and it will be fully defined sketch here. Okay, and it will just by resolving this, it is just removing that particular dimension only, and keeping that relation in between this particular geometry. So by diagnosing this, Sketch Expert will be helpful for you to resolve that particular geometrical errors. Offset entities to unique slot. This particular feature has been used before to presenting that particular sketch expert option. So as we created that particularly, as we know that the slot option have a specific requirement that we need to create a particular angular geometry and such particular arc and create a particular slot. But if we want to create a identity like unique slot here, so what we can do, that particular we can usually use a offset or entities option, and we can create a our required slot here. So it is the same way to create select a select chain bi-directional offset and create one cap. We can take a line cap also and arc cap also, and just adding the baseline base geometry as for construction, it will create a outer line main geometry usable geometry, and in between this particular line will be as a construction geometry. So with that drag and drop command, there is one more option to opt our setting customization setting for our command manager. So how it will work? So if I have option, I'm just opting the opening that particular sketch option, and let's say in a feature option, I have so many options, but so many times in a particular feature command, I need to see particular geometry in a different way, different views of that. So for that, what I will do, I open that particularly customize options. I can open the particular commands. I can search specific options like, let's say, isometric view. Okay, this is isometric view. I just drag and drop it here, and I will see that particular isometric view directly option here. So whenever I create any kind of geometry, I just opt the particular isometric, diametric or trimetric option here. So I can directly switch on that particular viewing option. So I can use it directly from here. I don't need to switch it again and again and opt that option from specifically tool or anywhere else. It is just located in my feature design tree, and I can directly opt that option. So it is helpful for us that most frequently used option we can directly opt in our command manager. This is a one kind of a shortcut option only. So for shortcut options, we can make it convenient for our usability. Okay. Select agency. This plain select agency. It is also useful for our regular use. Let's say how it will work. I will show you. So actually, I created that all the damage like particular geometries, but I need to create it again because I'm not able to fetching particular geometries right now. So that's why. Okay, so I'm creating one geometry here. I'm creating for my 50. This will be, let's say, 200. I'm just creating one basic geometry inside the particular option, and okay, and another one is here. Okay. See, here there is only four option of like mouse gesture. So that's why I need to, if I want to opt to another option, I need to hover it again. But if so, it is recommended that make it customizable mouse gestures and keep them most usable and most frequently used option only there. So you don't need to hover that mouse again and again. Okay, so now this particular geometry is created. I know it is not fully defined, but let's create particular extrude here. And okay, so it is also for extrusion point. I don't know, need to directly hover that particular extrude point. I just need to select that particular geometry. And in this particular shortcut options, I can directly create one geometry for that. I select it and just drag it for, let's say, it is showing that, okay. 100, let's say 100, and I'm like selecting the mid plane. Normally my specific require like suggestion is to you all the designers that basically use that particular options direction one options. It is very helpful for you, and it will create a particularly geometry which is totally created in a particular nearer to particular our origin point. It will helpful for you to creating any further assembly point or anything. It will really creating it will give you best result without creating multiple and number of multiple reference geometries. It is only work with the existing geometries and directly provide you the best options. So I am just creating this, and I am selecting this. I am selecting right click and select tangency. It will directly select the particular part which is connected to that. Okay, so it is not tangent with here, so that's why it is not selecting that. But if we select tangency, so it will directly select the whole particular reference like particular face which is tangent to each other. So that option directly select that. So it is option in your mouse when you open that particular geometry and press right click, you can see that particular options. Okay, so next option is to drag and drop that particular copy the feature. So normally what will happen that when we create, let's say I'm creating one hole here. Yeah, I'm not right now creating just basic, I'm just creating basic hole here. Okay. And let's say I'm just, it is in the geometry. So, okay, so I'm just creating the extrude here and creating one hole. It is just basically the through all option. And after that, I am creating this. I'm just like selecting Control C and Control V here. So by this, I can create multiple number of same geometry again. It is not just a hole. If I can create an extrude point on that here also, and also I can copy that on this particular reference plan, and I can just copy or drag like control drag and drop is also the option. If I option select it here, I just select it, control and drag and drop. So it is also created the same geometry again. Okay, so if we can use copy paste also, and just control and drag also create a copy of the particular feature. alter and scroll wheel video magnifying mode. Okay, so this particular option is to show that particular inside option, inside view of that particular geometry. Okay, so let's say I'm just let's opting magnified selection. Okay, so just a minute. Okay, so this is showing that particular magnifying option here. And if I press create a section, alter and scroll, it will directly creating a section view of that particular geometry. As you can see that particular geometry is there, but it is creating a section view. So I can see the inside reference also by alter and shift, sorry, alter and scroll button. So it is creating one section view of inside geometry. So it will helpful for us to create a particular section view when we create a multi-layer assembly there. So if we want to see particular geometries inside that particular assembly, we can use this particular option. But in a magnifying option, just press alter and zoom in and use the scroll button to create a section. This is helpful for us to identify that inside geometry of the existing component. Okay, so this particular tab is it is showing that if we create any assembly. So if let's say I'm like taking this assembly, and if I particularly like alter and tab that particular part, it will okay. So if in a mate option, if I opt the mate command, let's say if I'm opting a mate command and I'm just unselecting this, and if I opting that alter option, so it is showing this particular geometry will be transparent and it is showing the inside geometry of that particular part. So if I'm just unselecting this, pressing alter and just I'm hovering that particular mouse and press alter, so it is showing me that inside geometry, inside reference points. So I can use this particular reference. I can take a reference of this particular part. So it is particularly showing me that particular inside surfaces of that particular part. So by opting the tab option, I can keep it transparent, so I can directly connect with that. Give a particular mate to the inside reference plane. So in next point, we will discuss about so the base plane on a command in assembly. So this particular option, as we know that if we start a particular, let's say, okay, so when we trying to create any assembly, so many times it happens that let's say I'm creating the assembly of that this particular part. So in assembly, there is point that when we need to particularly provide a particular mates to locate this particular component. Okay, so I think it will take just a minute. Okay, okay. So this particular point is here. Okay, let's say I'm just not fixing it. I'm just making it float. And for right click option, I just create view that particular base plane of this particular part. So this particular option may apply when we create a particular mate. So at that point, we can see that particular all the planes, and if we keep it on and just keep move it in a particular assembly. So it is very much helpful for us to create mates and identify that geometries, and we need to know that particular part is created nearer to our origin point and where it is actually located. So that's why this particular option is helpful, and we can use it by opting the all the base plane activated. Okay, so in next point, we discuss about the enable smart mates. Smart mate is what it is showing that particular if we select two different geometries in an assembly, it will suggest you the best way to provide mates without opening the like particular property manager. So how it will work? So let's say I'm opening this assembly here. I'm just for referencing and see that I just deleting this part. Just insert the part again, so we can get that particular idea. And then I'm just putting this part here. I'm just selecting the particular inside geometry of this cylindrical geometry and this cylindrical face. So this particular option, it is showing directly mate option here. It is we can say advanced mate options. It will just directly opting that particular creating that particular mate without opening that feature geometries and mate geometry mate properties. It is directly creating that mate here again, and it is so easy for us to create direct mates, and don't need to require any particular open that particular mate properties. Also, same way I'm selecting that particular face and this face, this particular block like option is open again, and I'm just creating the parallel option. Also, we can directly provide the basic mates here by this particular options. So it is fixed now. So it is we can just wait. Okay. Okay, it is selecting particular axis. So okay, and let's say okay, junction. Okay. So after coincident, I can directly create that particular mates here without opening any mate properties here, because there are so many options. So basic mates I can directly provide it here. So it is can be used in particularly two edges or two axis coincident or two face coincident vertical options two vertical points to coincident, and as we see that basic mates can be done by the smart mate functionality to save time. Okay, so this is component preview option. Component preview option is what when we create a particular assembly. So at that time, so many times we required to see particular component which is inside that assembly. So if from this we can directly see that particular component without making any changes with the uh, uh, particular assembly. So it is a component preview option. Here we can see the particular component. Also, if I can select it again, so it is we can see here that particular dimension is shown here. Okay, so how it will activate it? So it is because of instant 3D, and in a sketch option there is also option of instant 2D. So if you opt this feature activated, it is showing directly dimension to here to that particular geometry here, and by directly selecting and changing it, you can directly change that particular geometry also. So by the preview option, you can see that both the parts, part and assembly feature trees different and separated, and you can change it and make a difference. Keep like make a change from the part here, and directly after that it will reflecting in a particular geometry. So by without disturbing whole assembly, we can directly opting particular inside part by this option component preview. Uh, the next option is isolated component display option. It is same way particularly preview option we see. So for this, this is the option isolate option. it is showing particularly isolated only option, only component, and we can keep it uh, viewed. And we can, if we want to change or create any like if we want to take a dimension, or if we want to, so many times it is happening that if we create one design, so many times our hierarchies or our team ask that particular, show that particular design. For that particular time, we need to always need to hustle to create, select that particular part, keep it out, and otherwise we need to take a reference part to open. So this particular point, isolate option may helpful for you to create a isolated option, isolate that particular component and take that particular dimension. And if we want to analyze it, we can analyze it from here. After that, we can save it also, but it is the option is there. Okay, also the next point is about hide and show the component in the tab key. So same way in a same geometry, if we are I'm just selecting that and press a tab, that particular component will be disappear. It is just showing the transparent option, and it is just disappear that. And if we want to identify that particular, we not want to get that reference of that inside geometries, we can use it. Okay, so mainly a use of cosmetic thread. So what is cosmetic thread? Normally we use that particular thread option in a whole wizard. Okay, so why I include this particular option here? It is normally we keep it in the best practices, but why this option is useful for us? So because we normally use that particular so many as we can say so many bolts and so many shaft or anything like that, and we create a particular geometry with the particular we can say physical threads. So in these physical threads, as we can say that this particular thread have a particular thread geometries. Same way in this option, it is showing that particular thread, but it is not a particularly geometrical thread is there. It is just a cosmetic thread. It is just showing that it is thread is there, but not a physical properties. So what is the benefit of this option? We can just obtain particularly um, cosmetic thread option from here, and we can create a particular threads in this geometry. So it will work in the same way that the particularly thread option is created, but how it will helpful for us. So, so many times we get that particular request from our customers and users that they are facing so many issues while opening that particular assemblies. So, so many times we face that mainly issue which is held there in a particularly opening geometry issue is that particular part which is have a n number of threads. So what how this thread will be opting that particular so much memories. So as we open that particular evaluate and see the performance evaluation, so you can see here this particular only part have a approximately 30,000 triangles. So these 30,000 triangles have taking so much time to resolve it and opening that. And these particular graphical triangles keep so much stress on our system. But comparatively, if we open that particular same, let's say, I'm just removing this part from here. And let's say I am inserting that cosmetic thread part and opening that. So see, it is very easy to open here. It is not showing that much trouble to open. It is because it is threaded part, it is showing something display oriented performance reason, but it is not taking that much time to open compared to that physical thread part. Right, and it is also the useful for creating drawing also. When we create a drawing of this particular 3D component, like cosmetic thread. Okay, so let's say I am just creating one, let's say drawing of here, and just keep it here. See the dimension of that particular threads and particular shaft, it is already located directly here. The same way we created in our whole wizard, the dimensions will be there, and it is showing that particular geometry also in particular drawings. So it is not creating any kind of hustle to create a cosmetic threads. Other than cosmetic thread is very helpful feature for most of users, because so many times we face that if we create, if for example, let's say this particular physical thread part, if we use in a 7 to 8 times in a single geometry, single assembly. So we can identify that 30,000 triangle multiplied by 7. So how many triangles will be there? So it will the more threads, the more system memory is consumption will be there, and it will really hustle like very hard for sometimes system will be crash also. So it is a basically a good practice to create a particularly cosmetic thread. It will helpful for the easy geometry, and it is also creating the drawing reference also, so it is not creating any difference for that particular geometrical and visible options. So but it is really helpful for the particular system also, so you can use a less memory and create a same part. So this particular option, as we seen before, that this is why it is option tips, and I will take as in this particular webinar, because so many times we as a user just we try to create a particular assembly and parts. We just created it and just forgot it about how it will work and it is feasible or not. So many times the less number of parts, but the assembly was so heavy that so many times people are requesting that they have only 700 parts in this assembly, but it is taking so much time to open. But why, what is the reason mean? So when you open that particular part or assembly, you open that particular performance evaluation, you can identify that what the main issue is concerned there. Okay, so it is taking so much memories, it is like what is the reason main, like here it is just basic parts, it is don't have any physical like complicated geometry, so it is taking so less time and it is open very easily. But if we create, as I said before, if we create with the physical property, physical threads, it will take so many time, so much time, and so many times people are facing that they need to hold the system for like 15 to 20 minutes and just need to give some time to open that particular, only opening the assembly. But by this particular performance evaluation option, you can identify your own issue, that which particular thing is making my system slow. You can identify it by your own and you can resolve it. So before creating any escalation or anything, just we need to sometimes know that which practice we are doing. If we are creating it is in a complicated way, then we need to work on that. So that's why performance evaluation is a best option to use so many times after creating a assembly. Just we recommend that open a performance evaluation and just identify that how much time your particular part is taking to open. Same way, feature freeze. Feature freeze is what that if we creating particular part and we creating physical properties, and we know that particular physics geometry is already done. So basic changes will be only depending on particularly we can say whole or particularly uh, whole, either whole or fillets, not a basic geometry. So we can clock that basic geometric references and basic geometry features, so no one can change it. It will be frozen from our end. So how it will work? So let's say I'm just cancel. I'm just opening one part here. Let's say I'm taking this part. So here I'm just like enabling that particular option. Okay, it is already enabled. Okay, so options, general, and enable freeze option. Okay, so what will happen if I want to make any difference and changes? I can make it here. But if I opting that particular option to enable a freeze bar, then I'm if I drag it till this point. Let's say I'm dragging it from till this point. So these all geometries will be locked. I can't do any changes in that. The main geometrical changes will be done in this part only. no one will be changes this particular geometry. So this particular geometry will be stay same, and the it will keep that particular relation with that, and it will not creating any issue with that. So it is helpful for you to freeze the features, so no one can make a big difference, and the geometry would not be disturbed. So this is particular option we will recommend to use while opening a heavy assemblies. The lightweight mode. The lightweight mode is what it will just resolve that the outer reference geometries, and it will just show that main part to outer geometries which is used in a particular mates. So it will not identify that full whole part geometry, whole part feature tree design tree feature design tree, and it will resolve it, and it will so many times it will so take a less time to open. Let's I'm just I just don't I just make it one example for that. This particular same part, it is taking a open like you can see the difference while opening that. This particular part is on a open in a resolve mode, and this is in a lightweight mode. It is just taking approximately just changes let's say time in just a 3 second, and it is opening very easily. Okay, file was see opening time will be reduced by like it is lapse time is 31 second, and it will take so much time in resolve mode. Comparatively, in lightweight mode, it is take a very less time, and all the geometries, outer geometries you will get there, and take a particular reference geometry of that particular mate also. Also, in our particularly in a very large, if you are working on a very large assembly that in a lightweight mode, it is also creating some trouble to open. We will recommend to open that particular large design review mode. This particular option we will recommend that when a designer create a one whole design, but sometimes if we want to open that particular part for the just a review purpose, at that time if we open the SolidWorks in a SolidWorks assembly in a resolve mode, we will face that it is taking so much time, and for just a reviewing purpose we don't require that much time to provide that particular geometry, so, or assembly to open. So that at that time we can use the large design review mode. Right now it is before that it is showing just outer geometries. Right now it is very much improvement in that we can hide and show the components, insert the components, delete the components. These particular features can be applied in particular LDR mode. So it is very much useful for us now. So and it is still SolidWorks is very much like improving their compatibility and user abilities. Also it is improving the features day by day, like every time. So it is helpful for user to use that particular feature and get the benefit to take a shortcuts, and use that shorter option to create a particular assembly. So that's why large design review mode is also helpful for you. So basically, this is the main tips and tricks we have discussed till then. So there are so many tips and tricks are there depending on the user compatibility, user requirement. We create it in by our own, and we provide a particular in a vast activity mode. So if you want to contact with us, you need to learn more about SolidWorks designing, and also our cloud services is there, which is connected as a 3D experience platform. So if we want to know more about SolidWorks and 3D experience platform, you can contact us on this is my name, my email ID. My name is Harsh Mehta, and you can contact me on my email ID, and contact number is there. You can connect with us. We can also we can create a particularly user oriented vast activities, also value-added services we can provide you. So for that you can contact us, and we'll like try our best to resolve your issue, and give you the best alternatives and best options from the SolidWorks for your designing. Okay, guys, so this is Harsh Mehta. I'm just hanging up this particular webinar. If you have any questions or anything to suggest, you can contact me and mail on my email ID. Thank you so much.